In this video, I'm going to be explaining some of the basics of generative design, as I feel it's one of the most powerful tools for the future of model development, but still somehow one of the lesser used and lesser understood areas of Fusion. In the video, I'm going to cover the basics of how to prepare a design for this workspace, how to generate and run a study, and also how to analyze those results once they're given to us so we can pick the best one for the job. So let's jump into Fusion and see how it looks. Now, generative can seem difficult at first, as you have to change your mindset slightly when developing a model. Instead of thinking it as creating a model, you have to instead try to envision a guide or path to allow Fusion's cloud-based computing to make the model for you. Now, this doesn't need to be used for all the models that you design, but it really comes into its own when you want to maximize the performance of a component working under stress. It's already been used by companies like BAC to develop one of the lightest high-performance wheels available, by Braille Skateboards for creating a 3D printed skateboard truck, and also swing arms for motorbikes, and so much more. In this case, I'm going to focus on aerospace, as there is so many opportunities for generative to be used, as shedding just a couple of grams from each component could make a massive difference to the overall weight of the plane, and therefore make a massive saving on fuel consumption, which will then help the environment and hopefully our wallets as well. More specifically, in this video, we're going to be looking at the lever arm of a tray table, as this is a relatively simple component, so allows us to gain some understanding without it being too complicated. Now, in order to help you map out the design, it can help to have a canvas of either the entire design or just of some of the individual components themselves. This just provides us with a bit of a reference to follow. Once we've inserted the canvas, we're going to need to calibrate it so the sizing is correct. To do this, we just need to right click on the canvas in the browser and select calibrate, and then select two reference points and insert the distance between them. In this case, the horizontal distance between the two holes is 60 millimeters. Now that we've done that, we can start developing the bodies that will guide the AI through designing the model. When doing this, the first thing we need to think about is where are the sections of the component that need to keep their shape in order for its function. In this case, that's going to be the two rings at either end of this component where it connects to the main part of the seat. So for this, we're going to create a sketch, and we're going to start with a circle that's 7 millimeters in diameter, and then we're just going to offset it by 5 millimeters just to give us that outer diameter as well. Now, you may have noticed that the original lever arm has a counter bore, and it may also probably have an internal thread to screw it on as well. However, when you're designing for generative, it's important to simplify your model and avoid details like this, as it'll just affect the AI and where its detail needs to be. And as I say, if this is needed, you can always just add it post-study. So now to make things quicker, we're just going to copy these two circles and just move them over. Then, using the dimension tool, we're going to click on the center of each of these circles, and we're going to set both a horizontal and a vertical distance between them. Then we're going to click Finish Sketch and use the Extrude tool to turn these into bodies. Now, this is a step that isn't necessarily needed, but it can be a helpful tip for getting used to this environment and just picturing how you need to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Modify drop-down menu and select Appearance. And we're going to use green to identify this as the material we need to keep. This is referred to as preserved geometry. We can also rename it by double clicking on it on the browser and calling it ring P. just so that we can refer back to it knowing that it's preserved geometry. Then, once we've done that, we can start adding areas that are going to be a no-go zone for the AI to add material. Now, this can be done in the design workspace or in Generative. So I'm going to make one of them in here and leave the other one for Generative, just so you get a little flavour of both. Now, to do this, we're going to show the original sketch and extrude the inner circle through the body and make sure that we change the operation to new body. Next, we're going to extrude the outer diameter on both sides of the body, again making sure that we set these as new bodies before clicking OK. Then finally, I'm going to use the combine tools, as this will make things easier in the long run. This time though, we're going to make the appearance red, and we're going to name it in the browser Ring O for obstacle geometry.